Orioles prospects, not messing around. I mean, these guys are just mashing right now. Coby Mayo went 2 for 4 with his first home run of the spring on Saturday. He had 29 homers in the minors last year, has played mostly third base, a little bit of first base. Not sure where he's going to fit in. It's the same thing we say about a lot of Orioles, but man, there's a lot to like there. Colton Cowser, another big weekend, 2 hits on Saturday, then blasted a home run on Sunday. He is now 9 for 20 with 4 homers and a stolen base. Jackson Holliday, the big name, hit a grand slam off Yusei Kikuchi on Sunday, lefty on lefty. Holliday's now 8 for 28. That's a 286 average with 1 homer, 2 doubles, 2 triples, and a steal so far this spring. Holliday's ADP is up 10 picks in March from 186 to 176. Either people don't really like Jackson Holliday this year, or they're waiting for confirmation that he's going to be on the opening day roster, even though it kind of feels like a foregone conclusion. So
yeah, I think they're waiting for confirmation. I mean,
it just doesn't seem high enough, like up to 176 in the month of March.
Yeah, I think when it comes to playing time issues, the NFBC drafters are particularly risk averse.
Mm-hmm. For a good reason. You have less roster flexibility, a lot of 15-team leagues, no IL spots.
Yeah.
And you can't add Frank, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You can't add a prospect until they've been called up once the season starts. Am I right on that?
Yeah. So on the NFBC, you can't add a prospect unless they make their debut or unless they were drafted.
Unless you draft them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do expect Holliday to make the team. I do expect his ADP to rocket up when he does. As for Mayo and Cowser, they do have an open bench spot. I don't think it's going to go to Mayo. It might go to Cowser, and it would kind of be in conjunction with my Cedric Mullins bust case, because I think that would be one of the place Mullins steals at bats. Also from Ryan O'Hearn. They could justify probably sitting O'Hearn, or even the Orioles could justify sitting O'Hearn or even Mullins against left-handers to get the righty Colton Cowser in there. Or you know what? Maybe life will find a way. Maybe one of these guys will get hurt and Cowser will just have a full-time role. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Worth mentioning, Scott, Colton Cowser, a lefty bat. So
I thought I looked that up before the show. Maybe I glanced. Maybe throws righty, and
yeah, that's what it is. He bats lefty, throws righty. So we'll see. I know Cedric Mullins is dealing with the hamstring, and so again, if he's not ready to go on opening day, I think that could create some playing time here for Colton Cowser early on as well. Wyatt Langford hit his 4th home run of the spring on Friday, and this one to right center off of reliever Will Smith. He is the biggest riser in the pick 100 to 200 range in the month of March, up 43 picks from pick 149 to 106. Chris, what do you think about the price tag on Wyatt Langford up to 106? Are you willing to pay that price?
Probably not. I don't know. 106, that's a pretty close to a premier pick. It's 10 spots higher than I have him ranked right now. And I'm pretty much treating him as if he's going to make the opening day roster, although I don't think it's 100% certainty right now. But yeah, that's probably a little high. I don't know. I struggle with it. I struggle with a guy like Wyatt Langford, who was just so dominant at every, best player in the SEC, arguably last season, the best conference in college baseball, rocketed through the minors, dominated at every stop. It's only 44 games, but yeah, I don't know. I know you want some strong take, and I just don't have it. I'm struggling with it.
How about this? We just got through saying the NFBC drafters are particularly risk averse with playing time issues, and yet they're not treating Wyatt Langford that way. So I'm less confident in Langford making the opening day roster than Holliday, personally. With every injury that happens to Rangers bats, it improves the chances, of course, but it just seems like it's going to hinder his development, because they're not going to be able to give him, they will not be able to give him every day at bats in the outfield. That's just a given, unless one of their outfielders gets hurt. And so, I'm starting to be more on the, I'm starting to think it's better than a 50% chance he makes the roster, but for
Yeah.
like, and I do have him ranked in this general vicinity for not being as risk averse about playing time. But I still prefer Jackson Chorio, and that's why I never end up drafting Wyatt Langford, because how are you going to draft both?
Chorio, the ADP is 124.6 in the month of March. So, yeah, he's going nearly 20 picks behind Wyatt Langford right now. It's kind of one of those psychological situations with me where I knew like a month ago you can get Wyatt Langford 100 picks later, and now it's just, I don't know. I don't want to pay that price at 108, and maybe I regret saying that.
It's so weird because like Jackson Chorio isn't having an incredible spring. He's not having a bad spring
He's
hitting a lot of
at
singles.
all. He's hitting
lot of singles.
314. It's mostly singles. He has 3 doubles, no home runs. But like, I don't know. We thought Jackson Chorio was the better fantasy option before. Like you said, there was 80 to 100 pick difference between the two of them at the start of drafts. Chorio hasn't really done anything to set himself apart, but he also hasn't done anything to hurt his value. I don't know. I
mean,
think I'd still rather have Chorio.
Unless we're concerned his spring is going to cost him the job, should we not pay that much? Like, he doesn't have a stolen base this spring. If Chorio's on the roster all year, he's going to have at least 30 steals. Something's gone horribly wrong if he doesn't.